If a man have a stubborn and rebellious son, which will not obey the voice of his father, or the voice of his mother, and that, when they have chastened him, will not hearken unto them, then shall his father and his mother lay hold on him, and bring him out unto the elders of his city, and unto the gate of his place. And they shall say unto the elders of his city, This our son is stubborn and rebellious. He will not obey our voice. He is a glutton and a drunkard. And all the men of his city shall stone him with stones, that he die. So shalt thou put evil away from among you, and all Israel shall hear and fear.
Shalom. All praises, glory, honor, and fear. Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Rakat Kadash. Shalom, citations, honors to the real, the house of David, the remnant, the real remnant of Israel, the spiritual Israel, because not all Israel is of the Most High. And you got guys, they act like they're the remnant, but they're the remnant of the 2/3. That's who they speak to, and that's who they're for. And the spirit of the Lord is like unto the spirit of a father. And the spirit of our nation, of our people, is like the spirit of a disobedient child that basically ran away from home and got kicked out of the house because they weren't obeying the rules of the house. So Yahweh Shai talked about these parables of a son that basically squandered all his money, and he came back, and then the father was in great joy. But the son that never got kicked out or went through any hard times, he was basically jealous. And I'm gonna get that scripture as well. But the spirit of the prophets, which we are, and it's heavy because these false prophets in this world, they mock the real prophets. They mock the chosen, because they're not the chosen. So they like to make jokes and act like it's not real, because they're not real. You see, they're fake. And whatever is serious and real, they get offended at. Or they think it's over righteous, or you're doing this wrong, you're doing that wrong. When really they're wrong. Their mind is wrong. And you can't judge a spiritual man. You cannot judge a spiritual man. The spiritual man judges all things. And that's the Lord's raising up. He's raising up a certain standard right now that you have to be standing on. And you have to make a stand with. And if you ain't with it, then you're going to be destroyed by what's being said. By the Lord, by these judgments, by these calamities, by these days we're approaching. Psalms 103 and verse 13, like as a father pitieth his children, so Yahweh pitieth them that fear him. And let's get this word for pitieth. And Lord, he's raising up father figures, because the thing is with our nation is that there's all kind of different daddy issues, whether they're dead or in jail or separation, whole divorce bullshit from this westernized society, you know. And so Lord, he's raising up men that are like father figures. So the word pitieth is a Hebrew word, racham. It means to love deeply, have mercy, compassion. You see, to love. So that's the thing, to love deeply. And when you love something deeply, then you're willing to chastise it. You're willing to correct it and hurt it, right? Not to kill, right? But hurt it, and so that they'll be straightened out and they'll fix their character up. They'll fix themselves. That's why the scriptures talk about don't be scared to use the whip. And this word is a weapon. It's like a whip. Proverbs So Lord said, don't be scared to use a whip, because you're not gonna kill the son. You're actually gonna make them better. Because that the wound's gonna heal, the flesh is gonna heal. The spirit's gonna be broken, but it's gonna be put back together the right way. Their mind is gonna be right. So let me get this. There's one in Ecclesiastes. There's also some in Proverbs. Sirach 30:1 says, "He that loveth his son causeth him oft to feel the rod, that he may have joy of him in the end." So the whole thing about this walk and this truth and this journey is it's not gonna feel good. It's gonna be uncomfortable. You know, you're gonna go through certain situations, and you have to trust in the Lord. You know, and then the Lord, He's gonna have joy of you in the end. It says, "He that chastiseth his son shall have joy in him, and shall rejoice of him among his acquaintance." So you're not to despise the chastening of the Lord, but the wicked, the bastards, they despise the Lord's chastening. Therefore, the Lord doth not love them. Let's go to the book of Proverbs. So Lord, the true men of the Lord have this spirit in it, and it has to come hard. It has to be serious and austere, just as Yahushua's was, or it won't be effective. Or our people, they'll sit down and they'll rise up to play. They'll be very playful and childish. You see? So Proverbs 29:15, "The rod and reproof give wisdom, but a child left to himself bringeth his mother to shame." You see that? So the rod and reproof give wisdom. Proverbs 23:13, "Withhold not correction from the child, for if thou beatest him with the rod, he shall not die. Thou shalt beat him with the rod, and shalt deliver his soul from hell." You see that? So that's what we have to do with our people, with this word. You have to beat them down, so they won't get proud. You see? Psalms 103:14, "For he knoweth our frame, he remembereth that we are dust. As for man, his days are as grass, as a flower of the field, so he flourisheth. For the wind passeth over it, and it is gone, and the place thereof shall not know it no more. But the mercy of the Lord is from everlasting to everlasting upon them that fear him, and his righteousness unto children's children. To such," here's a point, "to such as keep his covenant, and to those that remember his commandments to do them." So it's not just saying the commandments, it's actually doing them, you see? And that's all going into the straight gate. So there's certain things that you're going to have to do that you don't necessarily want to do, but you have to do it, and it's going to be beneficial to you and everyone around you. You see? So this is why these certain things are happening. And if you're wise, you're going to understand that it's all for the better. It's all for you yourself and your brethren to be strengthened. Lord said, "Peter, the same desire to have you as wheat, but he has prayed for you that your strength fail not. And when you're converted, strengthen your brethren." So you have to strengthen your brethren and show them and teach them lessons that you learned from, mistakes that you had to correct, you had to learn from the hard way, so they won't have to make those certain mistakes again. Luke 15 and verse Luke 15 in verse 18, it says, so this is going into the prodigal son, which, let me get the word for prodigal. A prodigal is a wasteful, spending money or resources freely and recklessly, wastefully extravagant. You see, so guys are actually wasting these riches. This word is riches. It's true. Like when you really put it to use, when you apply these words into your life, It brings you true riches and true glory and blessings. But guys are wasting the Lord's money. They're wasting it, you see? The prodigal son. Luke 15:11, and he said, a certain man had 2 sons, and the younger of them said to his father, Father, give me the portion of goods that fall to me, and he divided unto them his living. And not many days after the younger son gathered all together and took his journey unto a farther country, there wasted his substance with riotous living. And when he had spent all, there arose a mighty famine in that land, and he began to be in want. And he went and joined himself to a citizen of that country, and he sent him into his fields to feed swine. So see, guys are literally casting their pearls to swine. They're feeding dead things to these animals that eat dead things, you see? And he would fain have filled his belly with the husk that the swine did eat, and no man gave unto him. And when he came to himself, he said, how many hired servants of my father's have bread enough and to spare, and I perish with hunger? And so this son, he realized that he was better off with his father. Yeah, he had to listen to the rules, and he had to humble himself, and he had to discipline. The thing is, that's a lost trait with our people. Working hard. You might not see the benefits, or you might not even see the profit of it, a month from now or 2 months from now, but that's the whole thing of walking by faith. And disciplining yourself, not just with the word, but in your own life. It's gonna bring forth fruits. There's a quote, and basically says, disciplining yourself today and doing things that you might not necessarily even want to do makes for a better tomorrow, you see? Luke 15 and verse 18, I will arise and go to my father, and I will say unto him, Father, I have sinned against thee, against heaven and before thee, and am no more worthy to be called thy son. Make me as one of thy hired servants. And he arose and came to his father. But when he was yet a great way off, his father saw him and had compassion, and ran and fell on his neck and kissed him. And the son said unto him, Father, I have sinned against heaven and in thy sight, and am no more worthy to be called thy son. But the father said unto his servants, Bring forth the best robe, and put it on him, and put a ring on his hand, and shoes on his feet. Verse 24, For this my son was dead, and is alive again. He was lost, and is found. And they began to be merry. You see, so our people, they're like lost. They're dead, because they're in the broad gate. And they don't want to enter into the straight gate, because it's uncomfortable. They don't feel good. Because our people, they're very, they're driven by their feelings and not by logic. Like women, they get governed by their feelings. That's why it's important for them to have a head, whether their husband, whether their father, right, or their husband, to guide them in logic. 2 Ezra 7 in verse 6, there is also another thing. A city is builded and set upon a broad field, and is full of all good things. Right, but see, just like for you to inherit the earth and you to get good things, you have to go through some tough situations. You have to work hard. You have to get your hands dirty so you can get those good things. Says the entrance. And see, now this is the point I want to get to. That's the reason why the bulk of our nation just fucking sell out. They're weak. They're just weak. They just sell out, and they get what they want without having to work hard. So they don't know what it's like to put in the work, to have faith and put in the work. So guys are dead because guys can say they have faith, but they don't have the works. And like I was chopping up with the brother, works ain't just going to highways and byways. That's not doing the work of the Lord. You got these false prophets on the highways and byways, right? They're out there every week, these false prophets. But they're not doing the work of the Lord. They're doing the work of the Lord deceitfully. They're not having compassion on their brother. They're not showing you mercy. They're not giving you forgiveness of sins because they're not forgiven. You see, their sin remaineth. And that's what their sin is on them like a chain. And they're getting other people chained up in that same prison, you see? Trapping you to the flesh, trapping you to the bounds of man. When the word of God ain't bound, there's nothing impossible with the Lord. You see what I'm saying? 2 Ezra 7:7, the entrance thereof is narrow and is set in a dangerous place to fall, like as if there were a fire on the right hand and on the left a deep water. So when you with the Father's spirits Yahweh is doing, he's setting up certain men to discipline and to set our people straight, so that they'll be able to walk the straight gate themselves, so they won't fall over, because no one's gonna hold your hand. You gotta bear your cross. You see, the Lord said, no man's worthy for the kingdom that take their hand off the plow. So your hands have to be on the plow. You can't be holding no one's hand. It says, like as if there were a fire on the right hand, on the left a deep water, and only one path between them both, even between the fire and the water, so small that there could but one man go there at once. And so the reason why guys aren't able to enter in is because they want to take their subscribers. They want to take their whole camp. It ain't happening like that, man. So the Lord said, what? Be ye separate and be ye holy, even as he is holy. Guys ain't doing that because why? They don't have a true relationship, and they're not truly engaged with Yahushua. They're not married to the Lamb. They haven't been given that robe. They haven't been given that mercy and that forgiveness of sins. See, we're all like that prodigal son. We all went astray as lost sheep, but return back to the Lord. He's put upon us that signet ring, that robe, and the Lord's married that we're back. You see? And just like the prodigal son, he said, hey, don't even call me your son. Just call me your hired servant. And that's what we all are. We're all working for that same penny. You see, in the place where it said it, you are not the sons of God, it shall be said you are sons of power. It says, now here it is, it says 2 Ezra 7:9, if this city now were given unto a man for an inheritance, if he never shall pass the danger set before it. So you have to go through these dangerous things, you see. How shall he receive this inheritance? So the thing is, you're not going to inherit the earth unless you go through this danger, unless you go through this way that the Lord took. And the word danger is a possibility of suffering, harm, or injury, right? So what this world is going to say, what family, what quote unquote friends are going to say to you is, oh, don't do that. Oh, you're going to get hurt. You're going to get in trouble. Like I've had time and time again, we be preaching this word and standing up for the Lord, and it's mostly our people, but they'll threaten you like, oh, you're going to go to jail. You're going, you know what I'm saying? But here we are, man, free. You see? So Lord, he's really shutting this thing out, man. He's really closing this thing, man. He really is. And if you don't understand that or realize that, well, guess what? You're without the temple then, because Lord, he's closing the doors to the temple and what's being said in the temple, in the inner gate, with the mercy seat where Yahushua is sitting, and Yahushua has a seat in us. He has a place in us. You see, in our mind, in our heart. Matthew 25 in verse 8, and the foolish said unto the wise, give us of your oil, for our lamps are gone out. See, that's why they're not able to see certain things that we're seeing, and they're not able to profess things that we're professing. You see, professing themselves to be wise, they became fools. You see, and the preaching of the cross is foolishness to them that perish. So guys are actually perishing with this world because they look at preaching Yahushua and his crucifixion and what he had to go through. They think that's foolish. They think there's no power in that, but there is. It's just not for them. It says, but the wise answer, saying, not so, lest there be not enough for us and you, but go ye rather to them that sell and buy for yourselves. And now here it is, verse 10. And while they went to buy, The bridegroom came, and they that were ready went in with him to the marriage, and the door was shut. And the door was shut, man. So that's what's happening right now. The Lord's shutting the doors, man, and he's closing and he's sealing the election in. So only those that are actually ready have prepared themselves, that are ready, that have the green light, that are full steam ahead, not looking back, getting their house in order. What the Lord say? Set thy house in order and reprove thy people. That's exactly what we're doing right now, man. We're reproving in the gate, and it's either you're gonna hate it or you're gonna love it. Says, afterward came also the other virgins, saying, Lord, Lord, open to us. But he answered and said, verily I say unto you, I know you not. So the Lord, man, he doesn't know a lot of people, man. Watch therefore, for ye know neither the day nor the hour wherein the Son of Man cometh. You see, and this is the Lord doesn't know. See, a lot of guys they're gonna be knocking, man. They're gonna be knocking on the door, and it's heavy, just like Genesis 19 with Sodom and Gomorrah and Lot. You had all them sodomites. They were trying to. The angel smit them with blindness, so they couldn't even find the door because they were trying to break the door down to rape the righteous. So just like the elders in Book of Susanna, they were trying to rape Susanna when she already had a man, which has wickedness. So the same thing now, like the wicked, they want what they can't have. See, that's what the wicked, their mind is like. They want what they're not lawfully supposed to have. That's what they desire the most, you know. So they want, see, the kingdom of heaven suffers violence, and the violent take it by force. So these violent murderers, they're trying to beat, like come up some other way. They're trying to take the broad gate, trying to take a shortcut. They're trying to like break the door down and just blend in and try to hide themselves amongst the righteous. But it's not, none of those tricks and enchantments is working anymore, because we're breaking that shit down. You see? And the Lord said that the door, he's gonna leave a door which when closed no man can open. See, so no man's gonna be able to open Revelation 3:8. I know thy works. See, so the Lord knows what you're doing. Every man has 24 hours in a day to make the most of it, you know. But see, like I said earlier, a lot of our people, they take the easy way out and they just fucking sell out. They sell their soul and they do wicked shit and abominable works just so they can get what the righteous get quick and easy, you know. But the thing is that the reason why the righteous, the riches and the bread of the righteous is so valuable and so precious is because they got it the right way. They got it the morally right way. They got it without selling out. They got it the hard way. They put their effort and their work. They put the work in to get it. So behold, I have set before thee an open door, and no man can shut it. For thou hast little strength, and hast kept my word, and hast not denied my name. You see? Luke 15 and verse 25. Now his elder son was in the field, and as he came and drew nigh to the house, he heard music and dancing. See the new song. It says, and he called one of his servants and asked what these things meant. See, so the thing is about the elder son, he didn't understand that noise. You see, just like guys now, they don't understand what's being said. And he said unto him, thy brother is come, and thy father hath killed the fatted calf, because he hath received him safe and sound. And he was angry and would not go in. Therefore came his father out and entreated him. You see that? So he wouldn't go in because he was upset. He was angry. So that's the spirit that's all of our the men of our nation. They're envious. They're jealous. All they care about is themselves. And you really got to watch out for that. Second Ezra 5 in verse verse 51 says, he answered me and said, ask a woman that beareth children, and she shall tell thee. Say unto her, wherefore art not they whom thou hast now brought forth like those that were before, but less of stature? And she shall answer thee, they that be born in the strength of youth are of one fashion, and they that be born in the time of age, when the womb faileth, are otherwise. And guys, they're being born in the time of age. They're being born late, very late. It says, consider thou therefore also how that ye are less of stature than those that were before you, and so are they that come after you less than ye, as the creatures which now begin to be old and have passed over the strength of youth. So this world is really old, and guys that are old and they're set in their ways. They're not able to basically be reborn again because they're set in their ways. They don't want to change. The Lord said, Job said, I will wait until my change come. You shall be changed in a twinkle of an eye. And all begins with the heart, the new covenant. Luke 16 and verse 10, it says, he that is faithful in that which is least is faithful also in much. He that is unjust in least is unjust also in much. If therefore, and here's the point, therefore ye have not been faithful in the unrighteous mammon. You see, so you got to be faithful even with this money that you have now. You see, if the Lord said, if a man doesn't take care of his family, he's worse than an infidel. You see, it says, who will commit to your trust the true riches? And the true riches of the spirit, the wisdom. It says, and if ye have not been faithful in that which is another man's, who shall give you that which is your own? You see, and we have the Lord's money right now. See, so guys ain't gonna get the true riches because they're not able to even take care of the riches of this world. You see, and that's why so many of our people, they sell out. They become like Judases. They just do things just to get their bag. And they get destroyed because of that. 2 Ezra 7:18. Nevertheless, the righteous shall suffer straight things, you see, and hope for wide. Right? We will hope for everything, the world, the inheritance, the inheritance of the earth. For they that have done wickedly have suffered the straight things, and yet shall not see the wide, because they did it on unrighteousness. They sold out. They came short. They couldn't finish. Just like Judas Iscariot, he couldn't finish. You see? So there's certain men that are preordained to this condemnation and aren't going to get compassion, aren't going to get the mercy and forgiveness of sins from the Father. Mark 14 and verse 34, and saith on, verse 33, because Yahushua, he didn't want to drink of that cup. But guess what? He knew it. He had to do it. He had to do it. Because if he didn't do that, then he wouldn't have gone to sit next to the Heavenly Father. He wouldn't have gone to be exalted the way he is now. You see? And he wouldn't have saved Israel. We would all be dead. No man would have been saved. Mark 14 and verse 32, and they came to a place which is called Gethsemane, and he said to his disciples, sit ye here while I shall pray. And he taketh with him Peter and James and John, and began to be sore amazed and to be very heavy. You see that? Let me get this word for amazed. So these are times we're in. We're in times of amazement and heaviness. And the word amazement is to alarm thoroughly, to terrify, astounded. So there's definitely an alarm going off, and guys ain't waking up. They're staying asleep because they're gonna stay here with this world, and they're gonna die with this world. It says, and saith unto them, my soul is exceeding sorrowful unto death. Tarry here and watch. And he went forward a little and fell on the ground and prayed that if it were possible, the hour might pass from him. And he said, Abba, Father, all things are possible unto thee. Take away this cup from me. You see? Nevertheless, not that what I will, but what thou wilt. You see that? "38. Watch ye and pray, lest ye enter into temptation." See, in the temptations is tests. So don't enter into the tests. You know what I'm saying? Don't tempt the Lord neither. And the Lord said if you keep his word, he's going to keep you from the hour of temptation. He's going to keep you from the hour of tests and shit, The spirit truly is ready, but the flesh is weak. So you have to be in the spirit to be ready. Let's read this again. Matthew 25:10. Those that were ready entered in, man. Guys ain't entering in. They're staying out there. See, because guys are in a gangster nigga spirit. Like, oh, this is my corner. This is my block. Matthew 25:10. And while they went to buy, the bridegroom came, and they that were ready went in with him to the marriage, and the door was shut. Mark 14 and verse 39. And again he went away and prayed and spake the same words. You see that? He said the same words. He didn't want to go through that torment, but that was the only way. And that's how wisdom tries you. That's what wisdom's going to do to you. So Mark 4:17, the first she will walk with him by crooked ways and bring fear and dread upon him and torment him with her discipline. You see that? Until she may trust his soul and try him by her laws. Then will she return the straight way unto him. Ooh, man. And comfort him. See, that's when you're going to get the comfort. Because you're going to know you're in the right path. You're going to know you're going the right way. Because the Spirit's going to be confirming you. Confirming the souls of the disciples that through much tribulation we're going to enter into the kingdom. And show him her secrets. You see? So it's not shown unto many. Wisdom's not manifest unto many, man. Only few. But if he go wrong, she will forsake him and give him over to his own ruin. So if you go wrong and you do wrong by wisdom in the Lord and the Spirit, it will forsake you, will leave you. Just like it did Saul to David. Samuel said, a more righteous man than thou, which is your neighbor, is going to be the king. Wisdom Solomon 1:5. For the Holy Spirit of discipline will flee deceit and remove from thoughts that are without understanding, and will not abide when unrighteousness cometh in. You see that? For wisdom is a loving spirit, see, and will not acquit a blasphemer of his words. For God is his witness of his reins, and a true beholder of his heart, and a hearer of his tongue. And the Lord said to take heed how you hear. So you have to listen to men that have faith to get faith, because faith cometh by hearing. And salvation cometh by confessing. Confession is made unto salvation. But you can't be like a parrot, like the brother said. You can't be like a parrot. You have to really understand what you're saying and what the Lord is saying and teach it. John 8 and verse 31. Then said Yahushua to those Jews which believed on him, if ye continue in my word, then are ye my disciples indeed. And ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. So you see a lot of these camps, they'll be doing videos like on some question shit. Like questioning this, questioning that. Oh, did Adam and Eve have parents? Because they really don't have Yahushua, man. They don't have the answer. They just have a bunch of robot subscribers. And see, that's what guys did. They sold out and they bought fucking subscribers and shit. They couldn't just do it the real way, Guys like YouTube thoughts. You see? It's a weak spirit, man. Because guys need to be seen of men. They need a fucking crowd. The Lord didn't need a crowd. The Lord, the prophets, right? They said, Ezekiel said, prophesy to the wind, son of man. You see? And that breath of life is going to enter into who needs to enter in. They're going to be raised from the dead. They're going to be raised from the valley of dry bones. The Lord's going to bring the former and latter rain to them seeds, and it's going to grow. Sirach 18:14. He hath mercy on them that receive discipline, and that diligently seek after his judgments. You see that? So that's the Lord's going to have mercy on. That's the Lord is going to have mercy on. Baruch 4 in verse 11. With joy did I nourish them. And the Lord, he's nourishing our people with discipline, those that are not offended. Sirach 17:18, whom being his firstborn, all right, Israel, now it's the election that's being the firstborn. See, you have to be born again. The first fruit says, he nourisheth with discipline, and giving him the light of his love, doth not forsake him. So jumping back, Baruch 4:11 says, with joy did I nourish them, but sent them away with weeping and mourning. You see? And we've been sent away. We've been sent out as sheep amongst wolves, and we're crying aloud. We're crying out. The Lord said, let tears run down thy cheeks for the daughter of his people. It says, let no man rejoice over me, a widow and forsaken of many, who for the sins of my children and left desolate, because they departed from the law of God. They knew not his statutes, nor walked in the ways of his commandments, nor trod in the paths of discipline in his righteousness. So when you're really of the Lord, you're going to be forsaken of many. Not a lot of people are going to be able to stand around you and be around you. You're going to be a loner, but not alone. The Lord's in the Spirit is going to be with you, wherever you go. And I'm going to close off with this. Sirach 4 in verse 9. Deliver him that suffereth wrong from the hand of the oppressor, and be not faint-hearted when thou sittest in judgment. So you can't be faint-hearted when you're sitting in judgment. And that's what guys are. They're very faint-hearted. They have a weak heart. They have a weak spirit. And that's why they're not going to be sitting on the 12 thrones, judging the 12 tribes of Israel. It says, be as a father unto the fatherless, and instead of an husband unto their mother, so shalt thou be as the son of the Most High, and he shall love thee more than thy mother doth. You see? So don't be an MFer. For real. But be a father unto the fatherless. And the Lord, he's going to love you more than a mother loves you. But with that, all praise, glory, honor, and fear, Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, Baba Ball. And until next one, Shalom.